Now, believe it or not, it's 60 years since the BBC's first televised weather forecast. Karen, what was it like back in those days?
Well, I wasn't actually there, Charlie. I just want to point that out first of all. but it was very different. Let me show you some of the charts that we had in those days. First of all, in the very early days, we didn't have a presenter in vision at all. It was just a narrator talking about the weather. Then on the 11th of January 1954, George Cowling was the very first weather presenter that you saw. Now, he started off just by using crayons, and he would draw in the isobars, he would draw in the weather fronts, and then things turned a bit more groovy. And the isobars became magnetic, so he would put them on, they were in long strips, put them on and wiggle them into the shape that he wanted. By the time we got to the 80s, things were advancing, and we introduced magnetic symbols. You can see them here, but they of course came with their own hazards. Some of them had a nasty habit of just slipping off. There's a very famous story, of course, about the F in fog, which slipped right off and caused a lot of hilarity. Now, you can see the symbols here, and they were advanced as we went through the years to eventually add on some wind arrows, wind speeds and directions, things like that. And you can see the shape too. So Wales had one weather symbol on it. And of course, things advanced further when we went into the computer graphics. They too continue to be enhanced, showing more and more information using similar shapes to what we had when we used the magnetic shapes. But then in the 2005s, really, May, we moved on to these graphics. These are 3D graphics. It's what we currently use. Now we've got high resolution ones. And you can see, instead of having one symbol for Wales, the cloud breaks, the rain moves, and we give much more accurate forecasts these days as a result. So, talking of such things, let's take a look at the forecast for the weekend. First of all, what we have is not that chart. We're going to quickly skip through them again. We have got a fair bit of dry weather around. We've also got some rain around, and that's coming in quickly from the west. Technology is great, isn't it? My charts are going backwards and forwards. But if we could just press on with this for a moment or two. Today it's cold, there's ice first thing, there's also some frost around, and we also do have the rain moving in from the west. It's not particularly heavy, but it will drift steadily eastwards as we go through the day. Then drier for the weekend, it's also going to be cold, and later on Sunday there'll be some rain. So this is a satellite picture. The cloud moving in from the west, taking the rain with it as it does so. A few showers just ahead of it as well. So starting in the southwest, there will be some showers, a lot of dry weather around, showers peppering the south coast, some of those coming inland as we go through the course of the day. Moving into East Anglia, here too we're looking at a fairly cold start to the day, variable amounts of cloud. The same can be said across the Midlands, heading into the north of England. Watch out for ice as well. Into Scotland, frosty start as we have in other parts of the country too. Again, watch out for the odd patch of ice here and there. Some showers coming into the west, and that's ahead of the band of rain across the Outer Hebrides, moving across much of Northern Ireland too. You can see it sinking down across the Irish Sea and getting in across parts eventually of the southwest of England too, as well as Wales. Now, through the day, that rain will just very slowly push from the west towards the east. It's not going to be an active front that's bringing it our way, and it will tend to weaken as it does so. Temperatures, well, on the cool side, particularly so compared to yesterday, and there will be a noticeable breeze as well. Now, as we go through the evening and overnight, we still have that rain advancing towards the east. Behind it, some snow showers coming in across parts of Scotland. We're looking at Argyll, for example, Lochaber, into the Highlands, possibly into the Grampians as well. And that might just affect some of the higher level routes. Cold nights, some frost, -1, for example, in Aberdeen. And then as we head into tomorrow, we've got the dregs of the rain clearing away from the southeastern corner. A lot of dry weather. Tomorrow is looking like a cracking day for many of us. Fair bit of sunshine, still a wintry flavour on the tops of the hills. Not particularly warm, as you can see, but closer to what we'd expect at this time of the year. And then as we move on into Sunday, a fine start for many to start with, but we've got all this rain and strengthening winds coming in from the west, and that whole lot is going to be pushing steadily eastwards as we go through the course of the day. So despite the fact we've got some spanking new technology, we still, Lou and Charlie, have the own problems with clickers.
It happens, doesn't it? Is it your little machine? Is that what was going on?
I have to say, user error.
Was it?
Was it? It was, yeah.
Oh, Carol.
The clicker I normally have has got one button on it that just goes forward. This one's got two that takes you backwards and forwards.
Carol, it's okay. We're going to prepare some magnets for you for later.
I'm putting a call out for a blackboard. If there's a blackboard in the building, bring it up to the studio now. We need it.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here, Carol. Thank you very much.
6:21 is the time.
Look at this. It'll have